Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch and Learn Live on this, the 5th of October. I was wondering for a little while there whether I would indeed be doing a Lunch and Learn Live on the 5th of October, because the 4th of October was the day that we lost Facebook. Goodness me, I actually didn't notice until this morning, and I saw some other people's posts about it. And I thought, what? What's happened? Just goes to show that I don't spend my life on social media, and that's reassuring. But apparently, people had some big awakenings yesterday by not having Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp available to them. So here we are, doing our Lunch and Learn Live, because we are back and Facebook is back and we can continue to do what we do. So that's great. A big welcome to all of you. And today we are talking about serving without sacrifice. How we can set effective boundaries when we're here to make a difference. Because one of the things that we discovered throughout the course of the Renew journey, which we just wrapped up yesterday, a big thank you to all of you who participated in that. One of the things that we learned was that a lot of our community are in what we here at One of Many call overexpressed mother energy, where our mother power type is our strongest and queen is usually a bit low down, and it is causing us to put ourselves at the bottom of the list. So I wanted to speak to that today, to speak to it directly, the challenges around it, and help you to get really clear about what you need to do to be able to survive, really. Because if you have overexpressed mother energy and you've got yourself at the bottom of the list, bottom line is you are not going to be able to function for an extended period of time from that way of operating. So that's what we're chatting about today. As you arrive, say hello to me in the comments section. Let me know where you are in the world and what's for lunch where you are. I am in the Cotswolds and I had okonomiyaki. Yes! My tummy is working a little better again after my big nasty detox liver flush thing that I did a few weeks back. So that's very exciting. All of this quackery that I've been up to is working. Hooray! I'll celebrate that with a green tea. And I had okonomiyaki today, which is one of my favorite things. I love it. It's just like leftover pancake, Japanese pancake with okonomiyaki. It's okonomiyaki sauce and the mayonnaise that makes it. So good. Anyway. Great. So we've got Patricia there. Hello, Patricia. She is in Germany, I know, and is needing to think of something to lunch on. I get it. Hi, Roz. Roz is having coconut dal in Malvern. Hello. Good to see you. Oh, Patricia has a workshop she's running tomorrow, and the workshop is almost full. Great to hear, Patricia. Congratulations, my darling. Sending you lots of love for that workshop. And hello to the other dozens of you who are watching but not yet commenting with me. Hopefully you will say hello as you arrive. So as I said, over the course of the one of many Renew journey that we've been running over the last 3 weeks, really, we've had an overwhelming number of women join our community. About 3,000 new women joined our community in the last few weeks, which is the last 30 days or so, which is amazing. If you're new to the community, a big welcome to you, and I hope you are finding your way and enjoying the resources that we make available here for you. And of those 3,000, 92% of them were not okay. 92% of them were a little subpar, and 50% of them were very much subpar. And as we then went on and did the power type profile as part of the Renew journey, we saw an overwhelming number of women who had primary power type mother. So this is our mother power type. Mother power type is the part of us that has, she's got some amazing strengths, right? There's no doubt about it. We want access to our mother energy. We don't have to be a biological mother to have lots of mother energy, but it is the place of nurturing, of unconditional love, of providing a place of safety and solace for others. She is that place of warmth. She is patient. She is kind. And she's an amazing coach. She is a fantastic leader in that very unconditionally loving and unconditionally supporting way. Now, the downside of having the primary power type be mother is that you tend to include too many people in your family. We call it at your hearth. Your hearth being a very small space around your, like fire. You know, that's where the name comes from. The hearth is the number of people you can fit around a small fire in your kitchen is the number of people you should have at your hearth. If they can't get warmth from your hearth fire, you've got too many of them. And what we saw with so many women in our community is that they had way too many at their hearth, way too many people that they were sacrificing for, way too many people whose needs were more important than their own, that you would look after other people's needs before your own. Now, it makes sense to have a few people at our hearth, and we spoke about this on a Lunch and Learn Live a little while back. Excuse me, my nose has started running today. We spoke about this on a Lunch and Learn Live a little while back. But we need to get really good at setting boundaries if we have a high mother power type. Because what we tend to do, it often dovetails with a low queen power type. So queen energy is the part of us that is certain of our place in the world, who recognizes that she's deeply committed to her realm and deeply being of service and has a clear vision for her realm, but she recognizes that her needs have to be her highest priority, because if her needs are not taken care of, she cannot be of service to her realm. She lives for others, but not in a sacrificial way, not in a way that she will push through and deplete herself. She doesn't do that. She will attend to her needs, set very clear boundaries. And in fact, one of the things from Brené Brown, a quote that's been sticking with me through Renew a lot lately, is that the most compassionate people in the world, the people who are most able to access their mother energy and be the most unconditionally loving in a sustainable fashion, are also the most boundaried. They also have great access to their queen. So if we truly want to be compassionate, if we truly want to embody this mother energy, we need to embody the part of us that sets boundaries and says no, right? This is the critical piece. Let me know in the comments here on the video if this is resonating with you. I would like to hear where you're at with your mother energy, and if this makes sense to you, if it's resonating with you. So Roz says, I've worked hard to get my queen score higher, but when I am depleted, I seem to drop back to my old ways of letting everyone crowd me out of my own hearth. Yeah, Roz, that's not uncommon, right? Not uncommon. So it's really great that you can see that for yourself. Well done. Patricia says, today in my morning journaling, I've done it 83 days without a pause. Well done, Patricia. That's incredible. I was feeling so much joy about how much I'm now replenished, how much I know about the power types and how to be vital. I was laughing and crying at the same time. I'm also looking forward to the Be Wealth retreat this coming weekend. Oh, Patricia, I'm so thrilled to hear that. And that's it. When we understand our power types, we understand how to nourish them, we understand how to set boundaries for ourselves, we get to the point where we have vitality. We get to the point where we feel replenished. We get to the point where we have something to give others, and it can overwhelm you. That's what you want to be overwhelmed with, right? Gratitude for the changes that you've made. Congratulations, Patricia. That is just super. Really, really super. So, very good. Very good. Let's see, how else is this relating to you, ladies? Let me know there in the chat. So what this means, and Roz, you've hit the nail on the head, is that even if we might be okay when we're okay, so let's say we're not tired, we seem to be sleeping well and work's doing okay, we haven't got too much piled up on our plate now, kids are healthy and we're not tearing around doing COVID tests and goodness knows what else, like I was this morning. So when we're at our okay, we can absolutely be exactly that, right? We can be all right and we can maintain our boundaries. But as Roz says, if it's hard work to bring that queen up, if it's not your natural state, as soon as something gets wobbly, like it gets super busy at work, or the days get shorter so you get out of your exercise habit, or your kid gets unwell, or a new colleague starts at work and there's a whole reforming, storming phase that your group go into or what have you, then when you're not at your best, what can happen is you can fall back into this pattern. So it's really important that you know how to take care of yourself and how to set boundaries very clearly without upsetting people in your world. Well, no, not without upsetting people, because we can't take responsibility for whether or not they choose to be upset when we set a boundary, but by taking care of them, doing it with love. And at One of Many, we have 3 ways to set boundaries, 3 ways to say no. One is when we've been saying yes and overextending ourselves, we need to clean it up. One is when something happens behaviorally in the moment that we don't like and we just want to set a boundary, say that's not okay. And one is for when we want to decline an invitation politely. All of them are in a great report that we've put together, which I'm going to offer you completely free today, called the Enough is Enough free guide. Now, the Enough is Enough guide is all about how to set unshakable boundaries. It's all about how to be able to say no. And these 3 conversation scripts are in that free guide. So you can get it at oneofmany.co.uk/enough, and that will help you. Because then when you're under pressure and you catch yourself noticing that the hearth's got too crowded, noticing that there's too many people you're sacrificing for, and you realize, I've got to set some boundaries, I've got to say no, you can come up against a whole lot of inner resistance, which we're going to talk about in a second. But then it can be much easier when you've got a script to follow. I can see one of the team have put that there in the comments section for you. So it's oneofmany.co.uk/enough-is-enough. Enough-is-enough is where you'll get that report. Yeah, I can get that. So Aisha says, I'm a primary mother power type, but since coming on Living the Change and working on my queen, I'm better at setting boundaries and have done some spring cleaning of my hearth. I love that. My hearth is full these days, but sustainably. So as I've packed it with nourishing people. I love that, Aisha. That's wonderful. Good to hear. Sarah says, as a panini generation, I love the panini generation. It's not just the sandwich generation, with elderly parents and still children that we're taking care of. It's like squished, a squished panini. I still find this so hard in practice. Just not enough time and energy in a day. I'm getting better at boundaries, but still feel there's just not enough scope for what I'd really like to do. And I want to use this as a great teaching tool here for us, Sarah, because the piece that I want to draw out is you're saying, I feel there's just not enough scope for what I'd really like to do. And often when we're busy women with lots of obligations, it is tough to get to those things we would like to do, that we want to do, that we want to bring into our lives. Having said that, if we don't create scope for what we need to do and we sacrifice for too long, then we will burn out. We will exhaust ourselves and we become someone that is not nice to be around and is not as impactful in the world, and we can't make the difference that we want. And something that we have to be aware of for those of us who have children is that biologically in those early years of parenting, and this is, by the way, overexpressed mother is not exclusively to parents. I want to be really clear about that. I've seen it in just as many women who don't have children. In fact, I don't know what the numbers are. I should dig in, actually. We should do some research on this. But certainly, many women in our community who've got no children get there. But I just want parents for a minute, those of you who are parents, to kind of hear this. In the early years, the biological drive, the biological imperative is to sacrifice for your offspring. Because our DNA, our animal instinct will push us to do that because the next generation is the most critical, right? It's the most critical. in terms of the survival of the species. So we are kind of programmed innately in those early years especially to put the needs of the infant above the needs of almost everybody else in the family, including ourselves, especially ourselves. The problem is when that gets worked in as a way of life, if when they stop breastfeeding and start being able to take care of themselves a little more, which happens in varying ages, but usually by the time a kid is 4 years old, they can get themselves a snack. They can, they can dress themselves. They can do some of the basics for themselves. If we don't then start to reestablish spaciousness for ourselves, reestablish a little, and there's no other infants coming through. If we don't start to take that time back for ourselves, we can get ensconced in the sacrifice, and we get ensconced in that way of being that kids, spouse, boss, others, their needs are more important, and we can get trapped in that habitual way of being, so that we create a lifestyle, we create a day-to-day life that is replete for everybody else. Everybody else is getting their football practice, their gymnastics, their ballet, their play dates, their whatever, yeah? But we aren't getting our play dates. We aren't getting our exercise. We aren't getting our needs taken care of. So it's then that we need to start setting those boundaries. This is especially like a little word, especially for the parents, but not exclusively. So having said that, be aware that sometimes what we say, I haven't got the time, is because we have created a lifestyle where others in our lives are getting what they want, but therefore there's not time for what we want. Some of this self-care piece, some of this means going to grown-up children and saying, I can no longer take you to football practice on a Thursday night. You need to work out another way of getting there. Let's brainstorm how we can do that. Or I can no longer make you breakfast in the morning because I need to do my journaling. I will be available to parent you from 7 a.m., right? Unless you're unwell or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, we can start having these sorts of conversations. And it makes a big difference. It makes a very big difference. So the key is that those that are struggling to make time for themselves, even when you're exhausted, fundamentally oftentimes have underneath it a belief that I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to have what I want. I don't deserve to be okay. I don't deserve this. But of course we do, but at some level we feel we don't, that our worthiness comes from the amount that we sacrifice for other people. So let me know if this resonates with you, right? Let me know if this resonates. I want to hear from you. I love this. Fantastic, Nicola. So some great shares here from Nicola. She says, the Queen is high in Alfred. I think Alfred today, she means. Check this out. She says, lunch break. She's on lunch break. So in a Chanel No. 5 bubble bath, coffee, a tin of fruit for lunch, and drinking the juice. Last cigarette so I can afford bronze living the change. Nicola, that is the best reallocation of resources that I've heard for a really long time. Kicking the fags to pick up the good habits of living the change. Well done. That's amazing, darling. We are championing you. We are here for you. And we are going to support you in that. That's incredible. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anne Frederica says, despite my high mother power type, I'm getting better at boundaries. I've recently asked the kids for help, showing them how the kitchen, the bathroom, and the entrance should look like when they leave. And I can see a major improvement. Well done. This is it, right? You request this of people and we get help, right? And I can see major improvement. I've also heard that incredible sentence from my 6-year-old. Mom, is there anything else I could do to help you? And Frederic, that is absolutely sensational. Congratulations. This is really great. So we can do it. If we start back with that belief that I deserve this, I deserve to be supported, I deserve to have my needs met. Not just I deserve it, but I require it. I require support. I require having my needs met to be able to be the woman that the world needs me to be. Then we start reaching out to our family, our friends, our associates, our work colleagues, and so on, and we ask for what we want, and everything can shift from that place. So what we need is the ability to set boundaries. So if you haven't already got that report, if you go to oneofmany.co.uk/enough, you can download the Enough is Enough report, and in it are 3 boundary setting conversations, scripts for those boundary setting conversations that you can use to be able to be very, very clear with people around you and set those boundaries strongly and be able to preserve your energy, which is such a critical part of it. Good, good. Now, the other kind of key place to focus then is nourishing your queen energy. So not only having the scripts and knowing how to do it, but nourishing your queen energy, working a little on that all of the time. And for those of you who are in Living the Change, like Anne Frederic, like Nicola, like Roz, like Sarah, Aisha, all of you have access to Living the Change. We've got all of those lovely nourishing activities in there, and we've brainstormed a whole lot more of them through the Renew process to help you to nourish that queen energy. But for me, nourishing my queen energy, helping me get back into my queen, are things like going for a walk somewhere where I can see the view. Really helps me when I can get the big perspective. Or at those really special times of day, either sunrise or sunset, really help me to connect with my queen energy. Just the majesty of nature really helps me connect powerfully with queen. I also find my queen energy really strongly with a beautiful cup of tea in a lovely teacup, just taking a few precious moments for myself to just be present. Sometimes taking my book outside in the evenings and reading just for 10 minutes. It makes all the difference in the world. I love it. Well done. Sarah says, great. Yes, true. I'm reining it in and setting boundaries to invest in my own vitality, which has taken a hit. I know that has to be the first step. Well done. Well done. Aisha says, my sister used to push me into Marta because she's good at sorting herself first and asking me for support without automatically thinking what I had on my plate. I used to struggle to say no to her as she's my only sibling. Now I say, sorry, I can't right now when I have too much on, and we're still besties. That's it. That's often the case with siblings. The sibling that has the strongest queen energy will be the one whose needs are taken care of. I've got a terrible, terrible example of this, which I'm also almost embarrassed to share with you, but I will. So it was my sister, my middle sister, Kath, was getting married. And this was back in the day when I had sorted out my relationship with my queen energy, and I was good at taking care of my needs. And she was still very much ensconced in her martyr energy and not so good at taking care of her needs. And I decided that as her bridesmaid, I was going to make it my job to prioritize her needs, to make sure she took care of her needs in the week of her wedding. That was the hardest thing in the world to do for someone who was deeply ensconced in martyr energy at the time. And I remember vividly, the day before it was the day of her hen's night. I went and I ran the bath for her. Put some bubble bath in there, and I went and ran the bath, and then I went to go and get her to say, okay, I've got a bath. Come on, stop organizing everything. Come and just unwind. We'd also had a lot of we'd had a very, very traumatic week that week in our family. It was really very difficult. Kath, it was awful for poor Kath because her hen's do and her wedding happened at exactly the same week as a big family tragedy. And so there was a lot of us were coming to terms with how do we be in the face of all of this. But I said to Kath, come on, you've had a big week. Come and hop in the bath. Just sit down, unplug, rest, relax. You've got a party tonight. We've got lots going on. Come and unplug. Do you know, I could not drag that girl, kicking or screaming, away from whatever it was she was trying to organize in the kitchen. And then I said, okay, well, what do you want me to do? What do you know? No, nothing. Everything's organized. I just, after a while, went, you know what? There's a perfectly good bath in there. She's not letting me do anything. I can't get her out of Marta no matter how hard I try this week. So I said, well, would you mind if I go and hop in the bath? Because I was starting to get so frustrated because I wanted her to take care of her needs, but she wouldn't change. So I went and had a bath. I replenished my queen, my lover energy, my ability to come back and then be giving, and came back and she was still tearing around as she would be. But at least I had something in my tank in order to be able to be there for her. So it's interesting, isn't it? I think with siblings, that is often the case. So in that case, Aisha, I was the sibling who was more comfortable asking for what she needed and taking care of her needs. But as soon as Kath has since stepped into her queen energy and is much clearer about these sorts of things, it doesn't impact the relationship at all. If anything, it's made our relationship deeper and better because it's now a relationship of equals, not someone who's, good at taking care of themselves and someone who's always martyring, to them or martyring in general, which is tough to be around, right? So, yeah, that's fantastic. Well done. Well done. Lovely. Excellent. All right. So, my darlings, I highly recommend, therefore, if you have high mother energy or low queen energy, number one, let go of the limiting belief that you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to take care of your needs. If you haven't yet done that, you've got the limitation release in your Living the Change members area if you are one of our members, and that can help you to do that. Number two, nourish your queen energy. And again, in your Living the Change members area, we've got loads of great tools and ideas for how to be able to do that. I can see my mum is there listening to that story. I bet you remember, Mum. I bet you remember me getting in that bath, probably thinking, what? Number three, download the Enough is Enough report at oneofmany.co.uk/enough and get yourself some scripts on how to set those boundaries so that you can, when you're a no to others, when you set your boundaries clearly, not a no and upsetting them, but a no in a way that takes care of them, and the report will help you with that, then you will be able to keep yourself so energized and so replete in terms of your needs that it will be super easy to be compassionate and to access that unconditional love and service that the mother wants to bring, right? We can be generous when our own needs are taken care of. So please, please, please take care of your needs. I hope that today's been helpful for you. If today has been helpful, there are a couple of things you can do. Let me know in the comments section with a bit of a takeaway from today. Number two, tell others to come and join. I'm at the point where I'm wondering, one of the things we're doing is some planning sessions here with the team this week, and I am considering not continuing with Lunch and Learn Live and wondering whether doing a podcast or something along those sorts of lines would be more helpful for people. So I'm really interested. I know you ladies are kind of the group that come, but what do you get out of Lunch and Learn Live? Is this helpful for you? Would you rather something else? Would you rather podcasts and meeting other people and those sorts of things? Please let me know. So that would make a real difference. If I'm showing up somewhere every week at the same time, I want to make sure it's something that really, really counts. And then the second thing is, if it does really count, share it with others. Share the video, tag friends, let people know that it's going on so that we can get these tools out to over 1 million women. That is our mission in life. So we would love for you to continue to share it and continue to tell people about it. If indeed we do keep going with our Lunch and Learn Lives, that would make all of the difference in the world. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thanks so much for being a part of it today. And get out there, get sharing, and get setting some boundaries. See you later. Bye.